Hi guys, Jenny from Bare Wellness. All right, so today I want to talk a little bit about the theories of weight loss. We grew up, or for those of you that are my age or older, but that with this concept that we should be eating low fat and we should be eating high carbohydrate, and that calories in, calories out was how you lost weight, and it was our fault if we weren't unable to lose weight. We should be exercising more, eating less. And clearly, as the years have gone on, this has not worked. And it is, there's been a lot of damage that's actually done from those 45 years of suggestion. There are people who are sicker, we're fatter, we have more chronic disease, we're more unhealthy and unhappy than ever before. And so, there's a big paradigm of thought, a big shift happening. And one of those things is that we're finding out that, so obviously there is some truth to the calories in, calories out, but human beings are way too complex to have it be that simple, right? I mean, I think that should have been evident from the beginning. So here at Bare, we prescribe, although we do take that into consideration because obviously that is a piece of the puzzle, but we're more of a hormonal theory of weight loss. And that is we really take a peek and see what is going on with your insulin, what is going on with insulin resistance in your body, and how we can naturally drop your insulin levels through lifestyle and diet, and then be able to optimize the use of those hormones. And and it's a very successful way to assist people to lose weight. It seems like So here's a statistic from the CDC. There is, what was my number? 68 million? Don't quote me on this, but like a ridiculous large number of people over the age of 18 in the United States. I do have this number on my website so you can see it, because I might be messing the numbers up. But of people who are pre-diabetic, adults that are pre-diabetic in the United States. But the crazy number was 84% of that huge number of adults, 84% didn't know that they're pre-diabetic. So are you pre-diabetic? Because there's a good chance if you're looking at me right now, maybe you are. Right? But we don't draw fasting insulin levels. We could draw our fasting insulin level, plug it into a formula with your fasting glucose and get a pretty good idea of what your insulin resistance levels are. But we don't practice that for some reason. And so there's other ways, and actually most people can just assume that you want to improve your insulin sensitivity one way or the other. So what we do here at Bare is, one, we have a whole food base diet, because there's nothing controversial about the fact that our food supply is contaminated with a bunch of shit. We think that what we eat on a regular basis is food, but it's not food. It's been created to manipulate your evolutionary drive in a laboratory. And it's created with hyperpalatability. It's created with the understanding of our evolutionary drives. And they've created this food in order to drive you to consume more. Think about that. They are messing with your brains and your body. Stop eating the junk food. Stop eating the processed foods. You can eat the most delicious, decadent, amazing food with just a little bit of a shift. Even all of the same foods that you're currently eating, we can find a version to be made that is not going to trap you in this evolutionary cycle of fake foods that are causing you cravings and the inability to tap into your innate wisdom in order to be able to intuitively eat. So, a lot of times people think fasting and keto seems so restrictive. I'm like, well, my goal is to get you to intuitive eating. My goal is to get you to just intuitively understand your body inside and out. But you can't necessarily do that going from a standard American diet. You can't just stop eating junk food and say, okay, I'm going to intuitively eat now, because that factory food has messed with your hormones and the communication and the communication loops in your body, because we are so well defined. Our human body is so well created that there's all this information. When you eat, food is information. It stimulates a cascade of information, a cascade of hormonal responses. And when you're eating this food that is created and programmed in order to fuck with your leptin and your ghrelin, with your insulin and your cortisol and all of this other stuff. And then you add in the idea or the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic and the world is like falling apart and every single institution is falling apart, and we're distracted by our cell phones and we're separated from our loved ones. Some of us are going to work, some of us aren't. We're in this our cortisol levels are crazy and through the roof, and our other, hormonal stress response hormones. When you take into account all of that, all of those assaults, all of those traumas that are on your body, we have to take control over what's going on in our bodies, because if our bodies aren't healthy, what do you have, right? Isn't that what this pandemic has taught us? So my goal is to get everybody to intuitive eating, to know their body, their cycles, and what their body needs in any given moment. But we have to heal you first. And how we heal you is that we upregulate your metabolism. We teach your body, just like we evolved, to be able to burn the fuel in which you're giving it. So we teach it to be able to burn glucose. Well, you already know it all. Everybody in the standard American diet knows how to burn glucose. But burn glucose, burn fatty acids, burn ketones. You should have a metabolism. You should have mitochondria in your body that can burn whatever fuel is present, because that is how we evolved. We evolved in a setting of food scarcity, of whole real foods, clearly, of an environment where we had to move in order to eat, in an environment where we got uncomfortable. We were not in a temperature control all the time, and we were moving, we were standing, we were not sitting on the couch, we were not sitting in the car. We were walking, we were moving, we were lunging, we were lifting, we were pushing. So one of the other things that we do is we do primal movements. And I'm not talking about like one half an hour workout. I'm talking about adding primal movements throughout your whole day. So yes, working out is so important, but also adding primal movements into your life. Learning how to sit, how to stand, how to breathe, how to think. These are all such big, how to chew, how to take a moment to sit down, have some gratitude and chew your food. There's a lot of little pieces, but they're the basics, like nourishing yourself with good water, nourishing yourself with good breath. And we start this with a base of a healing of your metabolism, of a healing of your body on a cellular level, of taking out the crap, of it, yes, pushing and restricting your body a little bit so that it can heal. And we do that by lowering your insulin levels. When we lower your insulin levels, and we unlock the body's ability to burn its own fat. It's pretty intuitive, right? It's not that crazy. And this is this big thing that I've been talking about lately. Like, we make fun as a culture, we make fun of people who are, health nuts. Well, I think it's time to stop that. We need to normalize caring for our bodies and normalize caring for our minds. Normalize eating whole real food. Normalize it. It's your responsibility. Our world is falling apart. Our healthcare system can't tolerate anything more on top of it. So you should be it is your responsibility to take your health. If I can tell you, you can come to my program and I can tell you you're not going to, unless you have some sort of crazy genetic abnormality, most likely, even if you're on the path to diabetes or on the path to high blood pressure, or you're on the path to heart disease, all of this is tied back down to your insulin levels. You gotta get control of something so basic as your insulin levels, and without medication. Why even risk becoming diabetic? Why even risk becoming insulin resistant, right? All of those chronic diseases are tied into that. You should take the reins of your own health. Be a grown-up, put on your big girl, big boy pants, and come figure out how to take care of your body and your mind so that you can have the best life you can possibly have. Bearwellness.org. Come check it out. Facebook, Instagram, message me. I do free consults for 15 minutes to figure out what my best options are for you. All right, guys, have a good night.